When did you first start cold plunging? What was your first experience with that?
My first experience was like I grew up playing hockey, so I'm born and raised in Toronto. So me and my entire family pretty much grew up playing hockey our entire life. And our coaches and our trainers would make us do it just as part of like recovery. But when I started actually doing it, which is when I actually like really intentionalized it, which was around 2018, 2019, when I started getting really into like personal development and spirituality and breath work and actually working on myself. Like that's when I considered I actually started cold plunging.
What was your
So
first, like, just like, go to a farm store, get like a trough, throw some ice in there? What was your first cold plunge?
yeah. And my first cold plunge was no, I didn't do it in chest freezer. I actually went to a lake. So um I pretty much started up actually at my friend's cottage, and his cottage is based on this like island, and it's his island. So there's no one else on the island. It's fully remote. Like it's his island. No one else is there. And we went down to the dock, and it was like December. So it was like -25, -30 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but you can do the
Cold.
math later. It's pretty cold. Yeah, it's cold. And then we went, we broke the ice and pretty much went in. And that's how I started consistently doing it. Then I'm like, fuck, I came back home. I'm in a suburban area, don't really have a lake right beside me. So I went to like my parents' garage. I was like 19 at the time, and I took the chest freezer that was filled with like frozen fish and frozen meat and swapped it out, brought it to my backyard. And this is also in December, so I didn't really need anything but just the cold air.
Yeah.
Plugged it in and just did it ever since. And then I did like, okay, let's do this every day for 60 days. And that's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. The first exposure or the first impetus to do it, 2018, breathwork, personal development. Were you like listening to like Wim Hof? What got you into be like, hey, I want to do the cold plunge here?
Yeah, honestly, no one online is what inspired me. Like I wasn't, I only discovered Wim Hof like a year later, like in 2020. Um, but I was really into breathwork. I did some training with this guy called Dan Brule.
Yeah. I had him on the
Uh,
podcast. It hasn't dropped yet, but he's a stud.
yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. There you
Yeah.
go. So I did some training with him. We would bring him into Toronto, do like a 7-day workshop. We'd organize it with like 15 or 20 people. We'd basically split the cost of like bringing him here and doing the whole workshop and whatnot. So did some training with him on that. But before that aspect, I was pretty much just all into breath work. Like massive believer in breathing is the most important tool. So then I was like, okay, like I'm learning all these breathing techniques, and COVID hit, and in Canada, COVID was very much a lockdown. Like you couldn't like they couldn't leave your house. So I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna try and bring people together, and I'm still gonna use this opportunity to work on myself. And I was like, okay, let's see if I can use my breathing techniques in an environment that's super stressful, like freezing cold water. And it was freezing outside too. And it was dark and sun was going down early and everyone was locked in. And like the easy thing to do is just to like shut down and be depressed and not do what you want to do. So I was like, okay, let's use this as a big challenge in my life. So I started doing it every single day. I would like wake up and do it in the morning, or I'd do it in the afternoon, or do it at night. And I would practice my breathing protocols with it. And then I started to notice, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling 100x better. I'm like waking up inspired, motivated, disciplined in a time where all of that is easy not to do.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, cold plunging literally brought me out of that state of being locked down and more of like, let's live life to the fullest right now in a time where it's not supposed to. Yeah.
What what got you into the breath work in the first place? And are you still prioritizing it or doing breathing
Yeah.
exercises?
Yeah, I literally just came straight from the workshop. We were just literally breathing for 3 days straight. So, feeling super present right now. It's like perfect timing for this. Um, yeah, no, what got me into breathing was essentially working on myself. I went on, my first, like, self-development retreat workshop when I think I literally just turned 19. My birthday's November, so it was, like, right on the cusp of it, like, December, January. And at 19, it's like, what are you doing going to a personal development workshop? Like, I walked into this place and it's like 30 people, and the average age was 35. And I'm 19, and like the first initial reaction, they look at me, they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I don't know, man." Not exactly sure, to be honest. Like, I was told that this is gonna help me grow into my own and make money, and I'm one of 5 brothers, so, growing up as the youngest, it was like we had a family business, and there's a whole story into that, but working in the family business wasn't so suitable or healthy for me at that specific time, so I needed to release myself from that and go and build my own and go on my own journey, and I had a good friend in my life that recommended I come with him on this retreat, and I'm like, "Okay, let's go for it." I have like $8,000 to my name. It costs like 2,500, and it's like, I booked it like 2 days before the retreat, so the flight was like $1,500. I'm all right. Half my net worth at 18 is is going towards this, but like whatever. Let's go for it. This is what I wanted. I want a better relationship with my family. I want a better relationship with the people that matter, and ultimately, I wanted to search inside. So, as a protocol part of this retreat was breathing. It wasn't a breathwork workshop, but we were breathing every single day. We did breathwork multiple times, and the goal was to open up inside, open up the emotions inside, open up the mental blockages, the limiting beliefs, um, and essentially the emotions that were stuck in the body that was essentially holding me back from doing what I really wanted to do or fulfilling my full potential. Um, and breathwork was explosive for me. I exploded. And it wasn't like a 5 minute, 10-minute breathwork. It was like an hour and a half breathwork. And I was like, whoa, I've never done this before. I literally got high on my own supply. Like Wim Hof says it all the time.
Yeah.
It's true. Like you literally don't need to do anything else. Like breathwork will get you as far as any medicine out there will get you. And then after that, I was like, whoa, everyone needs to try this. And this was
Uh,
like a this is 2019 when I started doing this. So at that time, it's not as popular or common as it is now in today's world. Like everyone's a coach, everyone's a breath worker, everyone's doing wellness and self-development. But I would say before COVID, it wasn't really a known or a welcome thing. And doing it at 19 was also like, none of my buddies were doing that.
yeah. Yeah. It's a unique thing to be doing at that age. What was the like hour and a half? What was your first actual session and experience like? Did you get benefits from it the first time?
My whole entire paradigm of how I viewed life through the lens exploded. Yeah, I was, oh my God, everything I knew and I thought before and believed was just wiped off the face of the earth. And I was like, wow, this is
Yeah.
big. And it like brought me back into my childhood, and it brought me back into my relationship with my parents and my brothers, and the emotions that were literally stuck inside of me from those times. And it was just wailing out. It was like I was just fully surrendered to the breath, and that was the number one thing I see between the people that have a really impactful breathwork experience and the ones that, you know, maybe just get the tingles, is your ability to fully surrender to doing breathwork. And there's resistance levels when you're doing breathwork, and it's called breathwork for a certain reason. It's literally work. And the main one, which is the first one, is your thoughts. And your thoughts are going to come in like, and it's going to be like, why am I doing this? Who am I like? Why am I doing like, who am I here with? Maybe you're doing a group of people and you're thinking about others, and your thoughts are just going wild because your mind wants to keep you safe. Your mind is designed to be fit for survival. So it's going to do what is familiar because that's what has been safe for you for your entire life. And that's what kept you alive. Um, and that's the first and the hardest resistance stage. But as you just like, literally just keep breathing and just keep focusing on the breath, and then you pass that resistance stage, and then the next one is the physical. So your body starts tingling, or some people get this thing called like tetany, where your hands will literally like lock up. It's happened to so many people. Maybe you start sweating, or you start getting maybe a little bit lightheaded, or you just get physical sensations. So that's another resistance level that could potentially take you out of the breath. And then the third is where it gets really fun, is your emotions. So some people may start screaming, or some people might start crying. And normally when emotions come up, we tend to tense, or we stop breathing, or the breath gets shortened a little bit. And then through that moment, it's like, no, keep breathing, circular, in, very deep, and just keep going. And the moment you move past those levels and you allow yourself to feel those feelings while you're breathing, the real transformation just starts to kick in. And then you just, poof, you just shoot right up, and you have a surreal experience. And that's what it was for me, my first time, because of the entire retreat and the intention of the retreat to open up and start really feeling my feelings, and started becoming like bringing awareness to it, and all the breathing leading up to it. When I hit that breath work, I was all in. Like there was nothing that was taking me out of this experience. I went all the way in, and it benefited me a tremendous amount. And
Yeah.
it changed my life forever, pretty much. And then I came back, and yeah, ever since then, it's been a journey, literally.
That's so cool. So I take it you would say spending half your net worth was worth it at that time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I still do it. Like I still spend on coaching. I still spend on personal development. I still spend on going retreats. Like it's doing the work is not like done. Like I've led and facilitated and participated in so many of these retreats, and it can just be an experience. Like you go on a retreat, or you feel amazing, you feel great, you're like, wow, I learned so much. And then you go back into the real world, and you see your parents, or you see your wife, or your partner, or your business partner, or whatnot, and boom, you get triggered, and you're brought right back to who you were like 3 days ago. So the real work happens actually after the integration aspect of it. Yeah.
What do you recommend people look for if somebody's listening to this and like, hey, I want to do a retreat, but I want to do one that's worth it? What are they looking for? Or what are some good ones that they should look into?
It's a good question. It's I would say it depends on their intention, right? And what they want to work on. So I would say first, actually, before you think about what retreat should I go on, I would say, why do you want to go on a retreat? What is your intention for it? What do you want to work on? Some people may not actually know, but they have this feeling inside, or you can say like this, maybe like numbness, where they want to feel more in life. And they're going to start searching. So I'd first ask like why and what retreat you're going on, because there's so many different types of retreats and different programmings out there to achieve certain different things. The one I went on specifically was, and what I believe is, everything's around emotions. Everything's around feeling. I feel like a lot of people, including myself, for the longest time, move through life numb and maybe desensitized. And waking up every day not be able to feel is, say, torturous in a way. So I wanted to feel, and thankfully at a young age, I went through a rock bottom moment with relationships that mattered to me the most. And that moment propelled me to everything I have today. And thank God I had a good friend in my life that was there to support me and able to recommend me to come on a certain type of retreat. And I went, and I fully surrendered and went all in, even though I was young and I had no idea what I was doing. But that trust and that faith is pretty much what brought me to where I am today. And yeah, to me, I believe emotions is the fuel to pretty much everything. So as you do the work more, you actually be able to control it and use it towards your advantage, but also holding space for it and actually allowing yourself to feel it. Especially us as men, like I grew up playing hockey, like that culture is like, don't feel, and just be a soldier, and boom, just do it, figure it out, get it done, man up. That didn't serve me for too long, and thankfully I got the wake up call when I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
So I took advantage of it.
Real quick, before we get too deep into this conversation, I wanted to give you guys a peek under the hood when it comes to the data. So the data on this app shows me that less than 21% of my average monthly listeners are actually subscribed to the show. Now, subscribing to the show helps way more than you'd think. It helps the show get pushed out to more people. It helps the show grow. It helps me get more guests. It helps improve the quality. So if you guys like listening to me, and more importantly, like listening to the guests that I'm bringing on, do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe button right here on this app, and we will continue to grow the show bigger and better with each and every episode. Thank you so much. What are some things that you do in your day-to-day to prioritize like emotional expression and feeling it and making sure you're in the moment?
Yeah, cold plunging and sauna. That's a must. That's honestly, thank God I came across that. It's been an absolute game changer. I would say on a daily meditation, I pray a lot. I I come from a background where praying in the morning is how I start my day. So yeah, starting that in the morning, my prayer ends up going into my meditation, reading, journaling. Those are big things that I do. I don't do the hour and a half breath work. I do like 5 to 10 minutes. I would love to do the hour and a half
Yeah.
breath work. um, and then weekly having like a check-in group, like a brotherhood where you can go to and just talk about like, hey, here's where I'm at, or hey, here's what I'm struggling with. And having just a good friend that you can have keep you accountable. Um, those like weekly practices are a big thing for me in just going through business and going through relationships and all that fun stuff. So yeah.
What does the morning 5 to 10 minute breath work look like?
Wim Hof, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the Wim Hof. I'll transition between box breathing and Wim Hof. Um, depends
What's the
if I
Wim
wake
Hof
up.
style?
Uh, the Wim Hof style is essentially like, so it's like circular breath work. You do it for like 3, 4 minutes and then breath hold at the top. Hold your breath for 30 seconds. You do 3 rounds. So like first round is 30 seconds. Second round is a minute. Third round's a minute and a half, I believe, but you can play with it depending on where you're at. So breath holds and then fully release, hold on the release, and then back to the circular breath work. And then you do 3 rounds of that. And then the timing is just based on how long you're doing it for. So if you're doing it for 15 minutes, then your rounds are a little bit longer. If you're doing it 10 minutes, your rounds are a little bit less longer. And that'll just get me like super ready for the day. Especially if I'm doing a cold plunge, I'll do that before a cold plunge. If I'm not doing a cold plunge, then I'll probably go more into the box breathing method. But yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like.
Minute and a half breath hold. How long can you hold your breath?
That's the whole point. It's the
Yeah.
third round. So it's
Yeah.
like the first round's prepping you for it. The second round's prepping you for it. It's like anything. It's like going to the gym, you know? It's like you start lifting 25-pound weights and then you're lifting 50-pound weights and you're going from a 30-second plank to a minute and a half plank. It's the exact same methodology.
So you go to the development seminar, you get into breath work, you start cold plunging, getting grouped together during COVID. What's next? How does the inception of culture, your cold plunge company, come into existence?
Yeah. So when I started essentially during COVID, before that it was very much in the retreat space and trying to bring as many men together and especially just try and just bring the mission out to as many people as possible. Um, even though majority of my community that I grew up in was like, what? You're working on yourself? Like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. You know, life's good. Um, but I was on a very, very strong mission that this is what is needed in the world. And I felt a very strong purpose to that. So when I was doing the chest freezer cold punches in my backyard, I was posting it on my Instagram story, and I wasn't just like posting me going in and like saying a small little speech. I was going in and like doing it more of like a journal. So I would post myself going in, how long I went in for, because I never timed myself. So I went in and just whatever felt right at that moment is what I went in for. So I never timed it. I would post my time. I'd post the degree temperature outside. And then I would like do a little short journal in the story of like my entire journey of the cold plunge that day. because it's not just I go in, like a lot of people just go in and get out and like move on. Like I was doing it very intentional. Um, so I would share like what I was feeling, what thoughts were going through my head before, during it, and then what it was like after. So as I kept sharing that, people were like, at the beginning, they're like, yo, you're freaking nuts. Like, what are you doing? It's negative 25 degrees outside, including my family. Like everyone around me was calling me nuts. They're like, what are you doing? Like, you're freaking nuts. And I'm like, "Just come try it, bro. Come try it." They're like, no, no, I'm not coming to try it. I'm like, okay, whatever. After 15, 20, 30 days, people started being like, okay, I want to come try this. And like the engagement on the stories were like super engageable because like people were like literally reading the journal. Um, and like people are like, okay, like I'm invested. I want to come try this. Maybe they resonated with something that I shared about myself. And it started with one person coming to my house. We do just like a quick breath work, get them prepped, and then we go into the cold plunge. We went from 1 to 5, and eventually like 10 to 15 people a day would come to my house and just start cold plunging with me. And I didn't have a sauna, so it would just be straight cold plunge, which is the best.
Yeah.
The best. It's the hardest, and you're forcing your body to reheat itself through the breath and through movement. So you're getting way more benefits. At least I felt so at the time. And I did that every day for 60 days, and people kept coming in and out. And the common denominator that I saw was everyone left feeling the house feeling better than they came in. They felt more connected. They felt more present. Maybe they felt a little bit more in life. And that was the goal. That was the goal, for people just to come and do it. And then my business partner was living in Tulum at the time. He went there for like during COVID. He went
Mhm.
there with his wife, and my brother was there as well. And he was cold plunging too, and he was going through some like physical injuries. And he was looking at the market, and he was doing cold plunging there, and he was like, "Fuck, there's like no options out here." There's like one option at the time in like 2021, and at the time it was like 15,000, 10,000, but there wasn't really any like viable, good, convenient options. So when he came back to Toronto. He saw that I was doing it all, and he reached out and he's like, "Hey, like I want to connect." And then we did a breath work and a cold plunge session at the house, as per usual. And then yeah, he brought up the idea of like, "Hey, like I've been looking into making a cold plunge. Like, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's look into it." There's no like really good options. And then we started looking at options out there and started essentially crafting the idea of like what is our full cold plunge that we want to do. And pretty much like 6 to 8 months later, it was a portable cold plunge that we came out with, essentially. Um, and that's kind of what started it. Yeah.
What was the first one? Was it the inflatable tub one at the
Yeah.
chiller?
Yeah. It was the inflatable one. It wasn't like you could go to the factories and like they had it made already, or they had the tub, and you just be like, "Oh, okay, that's what we're gonna go for." Um, my business partner was very smart, and he was like, "Okay, um, this is in 2021, so there was no company doing portable cold punch." And then he went to the paddleboard manufacturer because they were doing drop stitch PVC, and he's like, "Okay, let's make this to a tub because paddleboards is people use it like, going into the oceans and seeing it's like very durable, and it's good with water, and it also folds up and fits into a backpack." And that was something that we prioritized because we like to move around, and I like to do events, and sometimes not everyone could come to my house, so I like to go to other people's, or I like to go to the public, and he was traveling. So it was a common denominator that we both felt and shared. And we're like, okay, can we make the paddleboard version of it? Can we make it into a tub? And the first tub we made compared to now was so shitty, but it did the job. It did the job. And then he went to a CNC factory that was doing like commercial or industrial air conditioners. And then he was working with them on pretty much creating a chiller model using pretty much similar components, but you just had to add in a water loop and refrigerant aspect of it, which was already built into that, and kind of put together this like Frankenstein ugly looking chiller. And it worked. And it was like, okay, we got samples, we tested it for months, and then we obviously optimized the design as much. And the first design compared to now is like night and day. And then we went like, okay, let's launch it to the market. And funny enough, at the exact, literally the same week that we launched it, it was May 17th was our first initial sale. Was when we officially launched of 2022. Our competitor at the time launched literally on the exact same day, just in the United States. It was like, I was like, what? Like
Yeah.
someone literally just launched at the exact same day. We ended up connecting with those founders like a year later, and we asked them like, yo, what day did you guys launch on? And they were like, I think like May like 16th or like something, like one day apart. And I was like, no way. Like we were literally working on the exact same idea at the exact same time and then launched at the same moment. That was that was pretty funny. Yeah.
What was did you and your partner have a background of starting a business? How did you guys go about going to like the paddleboarding and then the uh, AC unit thing and getting those manufactured and the tests done?
Yeah. So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs where I've witnessed it my entire life. I saw my parents come to Canada with absolutely $0. Like my dad literally came to Canada his first time flying in. Like my mom and my three older brothers weren't born in Canada. She stayed there with the kids, and then my dad came to Canada to like check it out. And he literally came on off the plane in December with the shorts and a t-shirt. And the guy didn't
Dress for
speak
the
English.
weather.
And someone on the plane like gave him a jacket because they felt bad. He didn't like. They're like, "Yo, do you know where you are?" He's like, "I'm in Canada." They're like, it's like negative 20 degrees outside, and he can like barely speak English. Whatever. They gave him a jacket, and that was his like first experience coming in. So like they literally came here with nothing, and I saw them. At least I was born in Canada, so I was witnessing the build up, um, and saw them and heard, and they came from nothing and literally built something and built a family with 5 kids and survived and struggled and went from this business to the next business, and they made it happen in the most amazing way. And we all played hockey and they invested, and they keep saying like their literally entire mission in life was to work as hard as they can to give their kids the life that they didn't have. Um, so I witnessed entrepreneurship from my parents to my brothers to when I was a kid, like always going out and selling and making it happen in whatever way possible. Um, so when it came to this business and my business partner coming to me, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like I'm in the wellness industry. I'm passionate about this. I believe in it. Like there's no doubt in my mind um, that we can make this, and the self-belief essentially. And my business partner had experience doing other types of businesses, and his his journey, he went through university and went through business school and then did like incubators and all that fun stuff. But essentially this was like our first like big, like this is our first business like legitimizing like actually doing it. And yeah, not too much like big experience before
Yeah.
that, just a lot of witnessing and learning.
Who came up with the name Culture? It's genius.
When we first started, our name was Cold Tribe.
Okay.
So we first launched the business and it was called Cold Tribe. And it was Cold Tribe because we wanted community, and the cold was very much about community. And then literally like a month in to selling and being in the market and doing events, we got like multiple emails from the community and from customers being like, hey, like you gotta change your name. Cold Tribe is it's invasive to the indigenous culture and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, okay, like if I probably go ask indigenous people, like they probably wouldn't care. So I actually went and asked people that I knew, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't care. I actually love the name. The name's great." I'm like, you know what? Like, it's early enough that we can change this name, and let's just go for it. It's okay. So we're like, let's change the name, even though we ordered hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory and whatnot of Cold Tribe. Like, whatever, it's better to do this now than in a year in. It'll be a lot worse. So, um, we started brainstorming between myself, my business partner, and his wife. And then we're like, okay, like we've got to keep the name cold in it, but we just got to change the tribe aspect of it. So, but we wanted a community as well. And we just kept going through different names and like cold culture. No, that didn't work. And then my business partner's wife, she's super creative and she's so awesome. She's so good with creative. She's like, cold, sure, let's just combine the names together. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Everyone liked it. Let's do it. Like, feels good. Hits the exact point that we want cold and community in one. This is perfect. And we're like, all right, let's do it. So a month in, we changed the name to Culture. Sold our inventory of whatever was named Cold Tribe, changed everything on the website, changed all the creative, changed all the branding, and never looked back. It was a good move.
Yeah, the reason for changing is definitely probably annoying, but I think it ended up being pretty good. Like Culture is a dope name.
Yeah, dope name. Much better than Cold Tribe, honestly. Much better.
Was there ever a point where you guys felt like the company was not going to succeed?
That happens very often. Yeah, that happens all the time. There's moments where even in the beginning days, we're like, how are we gonna fund the next inventory? Like, how are we gonna keep pushing marketing? So like the first 6 months of business, we were just grinding events. We didn't really do too much ad spend. We did it the old traditional, good old door to door type way where we're doing like 4 to 5 events a week, trade shows, like Spartan races, community, like cold events. Was calling anyone I knew in the community, was like, hey, let's start up this event. Let's do this event. And we started up like cool social series where it was like cold plunging, movement, just try doing like any event and every event possible. We were driving everywhere. We'd drive to like Wisconsin to do an Ironman. We'd go to Montreal, do events there, and we were just grinding it. Had my business partner had a pickup truck, and we used and abused that pickup truck. The thing is that it's good work. And throughout that time, we were building the business like super organically. So we were just doing events and tons of organic content. And it was like my brother's, my business partner's wife's sister was like, hey, I wanna try and get into the content game. So I'm like, okay. So it was like a small little like family business at the time. It was just us four, and we were like, let's go. Let's post as much content as possible. Let's have fun. Let's go do as many events as possible. And our first month, we did like $150,000 in revenue, and we just kept growing ever since then. And obviously, we hit the market at the right time, and a lot of people were talking about cold therapy, so the awareness was out there. We were just ranking on Google. That was pretty much our only ad spend strategy at that time. And then there was moments where it was still in our first year. I think it was probably like our 8th or 9th month. We ordered tubs from a different supplier. So we're like, okay, like we can get these tubs for 50% cheaper than what we're paying now. Like, okay, that'd be good. We ordered the first sample. Sample was good, great quality. Ordered a full container, so we put like 70,000 into it. The entire container. It was actually a crazy story. We were using my business partner's garage at the time. His mother, like a mother and father-in-law's garage at the time, to house the storage. And then we went there. We would do the pick and pack ourselves. We're like, you know what? Let's just like open up the first box just to see, everything's good. So we opened it up, blew it up, put water in it, tested, no water leaks, no air leaks. Perfect tub, great. Repacked it back up, cleaned it, packaged it up, sent it to the first customer. Every single tub after that was leaking. Every single tub. We're like, are you kidding me? What are the odds that the first tub that we opened up and tested was not leaking, but then every single tub after that was leaking? We
Yeah.
didn't think this was possible. So like we sent the way we found out is we sent off, like after that we sent like 3 or 4 to the customers that ordered. And all 4 of them were like, it's leaking. I'm like, what? How is this possible? It's like deflating, and this never happened to us with our previous. previous supplier. So then we got this like small office. We're paying like $1,500 a month. It was like 1,000 square feet, and we opened up a whole workshop in the back because we literally just spent 70,000 on this container, and we don't really have much money left. Like we don't have more money to spend another 100,000. So we opened up every single tub. Remember, I hired one of my good buddies from high school. He needed some work for the summer, and we got syringes, we got like masks, and we got the glue that was used to formulate the PVC together. And we basically built the whole factory in that little thousand square feet office. Opened up every single box, assembly lined it, tested it with water, saw where the leaks were coming from, emptied it, had this like syringe with glue, had to like do it very like meticulously, sealed all the seams, had like a air dryer that was blowing off heat, and then we would seal the seam, let it sit for 48 hours, retest it, and do that for every single tub. It was about like 250 tubs we had to do.
Jeez.
We could only like maximum do like 10 a day because you had to test it. Takes like at least like 5 minutes to see the leak. If it's an air leak or a water leak, then we had to drain it. Then we had to glue it, let it sit for 48 hours, then test it. And then sometimes we would seal it, and then another leak would pop up. So sometimes it'd be like 1, 2, 3 times just to fix one tub. We didn't have a choice. So this is like all day. We were doing this like 16 hours a day. Plus we had to do the other aspects of the company. It wasn't just that. We still have to do like sales and marketing and events and every aspect that comes with the company. So that was a moment where we're like, holy shit, like if like we have to make this work. If we don't make this work, like that is 70,000 down the drain right there that we
Yeah.
really need.
That's
Yeah,
such
that
a
was
cool
like,
story though, for like the lore of your company, like just like the starting of that classic entrepreneurial grind, like things don't go well, you find a way to make it happen.
it was like, and I literally remember like me and my business partner looking together, we're like, this is the moment. This is the moment. This is
Did you hit up the supplier or like, hey, what's going on? Did you go back to your old one?
oh dude, we hit up that supplier, like we went savage mode. We're like, how is this like happening? Like like we need like we were trying to get our money back at the same time, but also we had customers ordering products. So like people were waiting a week and then 2 weeks. And I'm like calling every customer. I'm like literally telling them like pretty much what happened. Like, hey, there's nothing for me to hide here. Like we got pretty screwed on this one. It's never happened to us before, but we're gonna make this work. Just give us like a week, and I promise you'll get the tub out there. And we were trying to get our money back from the supplier, and nothing was happening. It was gone. Like they're like, no, you know what? We'll give you, $5,000 back in credit. I'm like, what the fuck's the 5,000 going to do for me? They're like, we'll give you like 5,000 towards your next order. I'm like, you think we're ordering with you again? Like, are you like out of your mind? Like sending videos. It was just we got screwed. Took the L. And that was a lesson learned that there's a saying that uh, cheap is expensive and expensive isn't cheap.
Mm.
So we learned that lesson onwards that because something looks like it's cheaper doesn't mean it's actually better. And then we went back to our original supplier that we actually made the product with, and they made it with us. And it was a good lesson, and we've honestly been with them ever since. And we've had an amazing working relationship, and the tub quality is like premium pretty much ever since that day. So it was a good learning lesson. It was a good learning lesson to not go cheap and try and save money, and
Yeah.
it's not about that. So yeah.
What was the timeline from May 17th launching it to going on Dragon's Den or in the US Shark Tank? And
Yeah.
how'd that go?
Yeah, exactly. For the US people, Shark Tank. Dragon's Den actually came first, for those who don't know.
It was
Coming
UK
over-
first, wasn't it? And then it came over to Canada, or was it starting Canada?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Britain, and then UK, and then Canada, and then Shark Tank. Kevin O'Leary used to be on it, all those big guys. But yeah, we went on Dragon's Den pretty much pretty much like a year and a couple months after our launch. So the next year, February, was when you had to submit your application. And I remember we had this plan to go through the entire time, but we started getting like super busy. My brother went on Dragon's Den, and he like contacted us like at the beginning of February. He's like, "Yo, so how'd your application go?" And I mean, my business partner looked at each other like, "Oh shit, we didn't do it." We fully forgot about it. We forgot that it was in February, like mixed up the month. Like, oh man. So we went on Dragon's Den website, applied, and it was like literally closing that week. Like, oh my god, it's closing right now. Went, applied. We had to send in like a video of a quick like 60-second pitch. They responded to us the day after. They're like, "You guys are literally right at the cusp of us closing this. Like, we need to get on an interview. Like, we need to move through this process pretty quick." Um, did the next instructions of what they wanted to do, like another mock virtual interview, gave them like a whole kind of pitch of like where our company's at, what are we doing, like our mission statement, our brand, all that stuff. Sent it in, responded back to us like a week later saying, "Let's go. Like you guys are in to make, like, you made the interview process. So you have to apply and then you make the interview process." And that interview process was in May. So from February till May, we had basically a couple of months to prep for that interview process. They didn't really tell us too much about it. All they pretty much told us is like the structure of the first 60-second part pitch. And then after the 60 seconds, it's question and answer, just like it is on the show. So we spent time trying to perfect it as much as possible. And we tried to prep with my brother and other people that we knew who did Dragon's Den of like, hey, like what kind of questions they're going to ask. And I watched Dragon's Den my whole life. So we pretty much like just watch episodes and figure out what questions they're going to ask. And I actually was in Florida at this time, and my partner was back in Toronto, and we had to do the pitch when I was like on my computer and he was on his computer at the same time. And there was two producers on it acting as dragons. And I remember doing it together. We did the pitch, and you had to like the pitch is like, "I'm Michael, I'm Daniel, and today we're here to ask for da da." So it was like had to be coordinated. And I was on my computer and he was on his computer, so we had to like coordinate it through the lag of like of Zoom. And then we did that part, and then they started like acting like dragons and asking us questions, and I was so nervous. I remember being so nervous for that. I was actually more nervous for that interview than I was actually being on the show.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is pretty funny. And then I remember we finished it, and like the job of the producer is to show no emotion, no reaction, not to give us like any certain, like give us no certainty.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked us the questions, whatnot, and they're like, "Okay, uh, we'll let you know in the next like little bit if you're gonna be on it." That's it, pretty much. Like, okay. Got off the interview. I was there with I was in Florida. I was like, I went down, I was like stressing. I was like, fuck, like I think I botched it. Like we did not do good. Like started getting into all my doubts and fears. I'm like, no, this is like my one chance, and this is big moment, and it's like perfect timing in the market for a cold plunge company to hit it. And it was just like it was a big moment. Um, and then a month later, I think, yeah, about a month later, the producer emailed us saying, "Hey guys, we need to get on a call ASAP because our team needs to know like a couple things from you if if this is going to work out or not." I'm like, okay, what does that mean? That's weird. So we get on the call like right away that same day, and he starts off the call and he's like, "So just we have a couple questions for you. Like, have you been watching Dragon's Den your entire life?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. This is a big deal for us." Um, and then they're like, if you were like 10 years old or whatnot, would you be screaming out of your shoes right now?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "All right, well, you've made it to Dragon's Den." We're like, "What?" I'm like, well, I'm like, my first reaction, what was the point of asking these questions? He's like, We just had to get the footage. We had to get the footage. We had to hype it up. We can't just give it to you right away. I'm like, let's go. So we got super pumped up. Me and my business partner started celebrating. And then they gave us that producer who basically had that call with us was essentially our coach producer for the next until September when you're actually doing the shooting on set. And then we did it essentially from May till September of building out the entire story of it. And we literally built it out together. And I knew throughout the process that it's a reality TV show, so it's got to be entertaining. That's, in the end of the day, that's what matters to them the most. Yes, you have to have a good business and you got to have a cool product, and sure, you got to do numbers don't really matter too much, but it's got to be entertaining. So kind of knew that, and I'm like, well, to make this as entertaining as possible, we got to get the Dragons and the Cold Plunge on live TV. That's got to happen. Okay. So we first went from okay, let's do a contest. And I'm like, I don't really like a contest. I don't want my brand to be known as a contest, because cold plunging is not about a contest. Let's just do 2 minutes. Let's get 2 dragons in it, and I'll guide them through it, through the breath work, and we'll guide them through the cold plunge, and it'll be great TV. So we did that. We built out the first 60-second pitch, practice, question and answer, nonstop. Me and my business partner, we nailed it. And then when it came to being on set, I remember this funny story. Literally right before we're supposed to go on set, our producer comes. He's like, "All right, guys, let's do a quick rehearse, and let's get you on there." We're like, "Okay." So do the whole thing dun, 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 dun. We even put the music on just to hype us up a little bit. We walk up, and I'm like, "Hi, Michael," and my business partner goes, "Hi, Daniel," and then we do the first part, we're looking for it, da 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 da, and then it goes into my business partner story is back in this time, da da da, and he fully forgot everything that he was literally we practiced all months for, and he's just he just blacked out. And it was in that moment where I was we could have been damn, come on, Dan, you gotta remember this. But it wasn't that moment. It was bro, you got this. This, you know this the back of your head. I fully believe in you. And the producer was like that. And then we redid it again. He crushed it. He nailed it. We went on set, and he started off the first second pitch, and I remember he on set when he's doing it live, I'm just looking at him wow, this guy's crushing it right now. And the moment I saw him crush the first 30 seconds of it, I was like, this is a walk in the park. And then it was just steamrolling ever since then. It was the perfect pitch. The questions were great. We answered it great. Their questions were alley-oops, literally giving us alley-oops to describe our product and describe our business. Everything just went so good on air. And I remember leaving that, and we were just wow, this is the most perfect moment we could have asked for. And yeah, it was like winning the Stanley Cup for us hockey players.
Well, I mean, you secured a deal. What was it? 200 for 10? A 2
Yeah,
mil evaluation?
and the strategy was to go on and have them do a bidding war. So we went on initially saying 100,000 for 10%, and then we talked about our numbers, and then they were that was their first what? Why are you only asking for 100,000 and 10%? And you're doing this, and your numbers are looking like this, and we're well, do you guys want to offer more? And they just started doing a bidding war, and that was the point for good entertainment and getting them to fight over the business. It was a good perception to have on TV, and some people were bidding more, and I was no. And we kind of had an idea of who we wanted to go with on it. And one of the dragons was actually already invested into the plunge, one of our competitors at the time. So he's yeah, I'm already invested into the thing, so I can't be in it. And then we kind of knew that we were going to go for Michelle the entire time. And then when she did the raise of the bidding, we're just yeah, let's do the deal. Let's go. So
is she still involved?
Yeah. She's still very involved. I remember when we first signed the deal, we did 50 hours of meetings, just back to back to back, just going through the problems, the issues, what we need in the business. everything. And then that initially led us up to opening up our own manufacturing facility through them, and then building our own chiller, and having that IP into it and leading us down that journey. So yeah, still very much involved and always helping and always ready and available whenever we need them. So honestly, it's been great. I know some other companies who went through Dragon's Den and signed deals didn't have that type of experience, but I guess we were lucky and fortunate to have such support, honestly, from them. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
I mean, that's so cool. And it sounds like the reason you weren't as nervous is you guys put in the work to prep. Like you guys sound like you guys prepped a ton.
Yeah, we prepped a ton, and honestly, like we were confident. We were confident in our business. Um, we made like my business partner. He was the numbers man on the show, so your numbers just got to be consistent. You just got to know the numbers you're going into the show with. Doesn't necessarily need to be like some people go into it and they're like, they don't even know, like, okay, we're doing this revenue, we're spending this on customer acquisition, and then our profit is this much. Like it's got to equal out because the dragons will do the numbers like on the show in front of you, and if something doesn't equal out to your revenue, your profit, your CAC, then they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" And then they're just gonna open up a can of worms and they're just gonna start ripping you. So like our main goal was to just have the numbers be simple and consistent, and just be like make it make sense. You're doing $2 million in revenue, okay? You're doing X amount of profit. You're spending this much on marketing. Great. This is how much you're making in profit in the end of the day. Um, so once we knew that, there was really no opportunity for them to rip into us.
I've had Dr. Thomas Seeger on the podcast. He's CEO of Morosco Forages and talks about ice baths and cold plunges as well. Obviously, their podcast or their ice baths are like 30. They have a $50,000 ice bath. I was just
Yeah.
looking that up. It's pretty crazy. Well, what are some differences? What's unique or makes culture stand out among ice baths?
Yeah. Funny enough, like when we were first starting at the company, like Morosco was around, I think, like, I don't know how many years they were in, but they were around and we saw them, they were like 50,000, 30,000. And then I think Plunge just launched like 6 months before we started that process as well. And they were like selling it for 10,000. Given mine, we were Canadian, so like USD dollar, like 10,000 USD. And then to ship it to Canada, it was like an extra 1,500 in shipping. And they're like, shit, there's no option for us here, literally in Canada. There's like not one
Mm.
option. I would say the main differences is now we have such a wide variety of cold plunges. Like we have it all the way from the portable. You can get one for $3,500. You can have a chiller that hooks up to any one of your tubs. So we've had so many of our customers hook up the chiller to like an ice barrel or just any other tub that they got on the market. Makes it super universal. Then it goes up to, we kind of have like the Pro Light, where it's made out of that rotary mold, durable like structure. Very basic controls, but still gets you down to 37. It can also heat it up as well. It has ozone, UV, and we're offering that for like 5 or 6,000 USD. Can't forget the exact conversion of it. And then we go up to like more of our premium ones where it's like Pro Plunge and like acrylic, and then we have our ultra, like we call it the extreme. Because for the longest amount of time, every one of our customers in Canada would be like, "Hey, can I leave the cold plunge outside during the winter?" And we were like, "No, not below -10." Like we didn't test it below that. And sometimes if there's a power outage, like if there's a power outage and it's -10 degrees Celsius, like that thing is freezing up. Tubes are, it's just gonna crack on the inside, and then you're gonna come back to us, and it's gonna be a whole warranty thing. So we didn't tell people to do that, but everyone kept asking, and it was like a big pain point for people. So for years, I'm like, we got to figure this out. Like the customers are asking for it. There's a demand in the market. People want to leave it outside all year round, but there's just no suitable option. So it took us about like 3 years to come to it and get it done. And that's our extreme. Our extreme is essentially that durable option that you can literally leave outside all year round. Super hot and super cold, and it'll perform. So that's like our most premium options. We have options for pretty much everyone, depending on where you're at in your cold plunge journey. You know, some people are just starting out, they just want to get a tub and they just want to spend like $400 on, you know, a barrel, or they, you know, want to have it consistent. So they spend like $3.5 grand or $4 grand on a cold plunge with a chiller that filters your water. And a big part of our brand positioning when we first started out is that we saw a lot of the chillers in the market didn't really perform too well the first 2.5 years. And it was a big friction in the market.
Hmm.
Not necessarily because the components were so bad. It was, a lot of it was like user generated error, and you know the chiller was small, so the pumps were small, and all the components were a little bit smaller, and certain companies didn't know how to direct their customers on how to use it and maintain it so you can get like the most effective use out of it. Um, and then we also saw like certain manufactural errors in the market. So like from the first year, we said to ourselves like, hey, we're going to put all our attention and focus into crafting and making the best chiller possible, because that's where the market's at. Like anyone can make a tub. You can make a tub out of anything. Tub's not that special. You know, you can make it out of any material. But what's going to win here is who's got the best chiller. And that was kind of our mindset from literally the first year, still till this day, is making the best, most reliable chiller out there. And that's kind of what led us to building our own manufacturing with our chiller. So I would say that's what differentiates us a little bit more than the others, is like we put a lot of time and focus and money and energy, and lost a lot of money and went all in on trying to perfect this thing that we believed it was the most important part of the cold plunge journey.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think you have the best chiller?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
In terms of like the portable chiller space, yeah, we do. I know the factories out there that kind of use all the other ones, and they're getting better. Like that's the thing. Like everyone's getting better. But we just obsess over doing R&D on it, and yeah, there's still faults and imperfections, but we're always working and striving to make it as best as possible. So
This seems like that's your guys' mentality. I mean, from the having to create your own little rehab center for your tubs to, it seems like you guys are obsessed with the quality, which is awesome. At what point did you guys start deciding to bring saunas into the line? And do you feel like the name culture has kind of pigeonholed you a little bit in that aspect?
yeah. Had that discussion many times of like, okay, are we going to change the brand name now? Are we going to stay culture, or are we going to kind of change it because we're bringing more wellness products into it? And it's kind of the discussion minimized now. We've kind of just like rebranded our like fonts and colors and just like the feel and the energy of the brand a little bit, but we kept the same name. It's a pretty tough decision to change the entire name because we have so much brand equity in that name, so much like ranking on Google, like so much money thrown into advertising and marketing on that name. It'd be a pretty big shift, scary shift, honestly. But we've definitely thought about it. Still comes up a little bit, but we decided to launch saunas, indoor saunas, last year. We knew that was the pivot to go down. We knew saunas was pretty much always going to happen. We just didn't know when it was going to happen. Cold plunging was so hot. Everyone wanted a cold plunge. Everyone was talking about it too online. And it was just the natural evolution. We just started seeing more demand from the market. I'm a big believer in listening to the customer. The customer has all the answers. Customer literally tell you what to do. You don't really got to reinvent any new wheels out there. Like the market is your best friend, in negative and positive ways. So we started listening to the consumer, and the demand was, what's like, the sauna needs to come out. If we're going to grow, we can't just stay in cold plunges. And we love saunas. I love saunas. I've been using saunas forever. My business partner is from Eastern Europe, so he like literally grew up in the sauna culture. Like his dad would take him in a sauna and cold plunge at like the age of like 4 years old, 5 years old. So we knew it was going to come. We didn't know when, and we decided to launch with indoor saunas first. And that's when we came out with the 3 models: the corner, the hybrid, and the pod. But we didn't want to come out with just your regular, like traditional infrared sauna. We wanted to come out with something a little bit more unique and something a little bit more, I would say, biohacking focused in a sense. So we created the pod where it was integrated with red light therapy. So you have the infrared sauna, but you also have 4 red light panels in it. A lot of people are doing like one little dinky red light panel. We were like, okay, if you're going to go in the sauna, you don't want to just hitting one part of your body. You want it covering all parts of your body. So we created like 360. So we put like 2 in the back, 2 like full body panels in the front, and you're getting full red light exposure through your whole body. Um, and it was close proximity. And then we came out the corner. It was just bigger size, 6 red light panels. And then we came out the hybrid, which was pretty unique at the time, where it was like a mix between infrared and traditional. Because we know people wanted both, and people still want to hit that high heat temperatures, as do I. So I was like, I love infrared, I love traditional. Let's mix those 2 together. And then we didn't want to put like your traditional like dinky speaker that everyone does. We wanted to do like sick JBL speakers, like everything that we wanted to have and that we didn't like throughout testing and using other saunas. We basically put our heart and soul into these saunas.
The look is sweet. They look good.
Yeah. Well, it's in the end of the day, it's a piece of furniture in your house, right? Especially if you're putting it indoors. Like it's a piece of furniture. It's gotta look nice. It's gotta match the aesthetic. So we believe like not only having good quality products, but also having like sexy looking products.
Yeah. They look good. I mean, the black with the full front glass, I was looking at them, prepping and going through your whole website, looking at the lineup. I was like, dude, these saunas look tight.
Yeah. It's my business partner was it was like in the building space of like previously, so he has a good eye for design. He loves and he appreciates like really good design, so he's very meticulous like that. And then we just launched outdoor saunas too. Like, okay, we got to keep the same brand look. And then these ones we literally make like 2 hours up north from where our office is in Canada, so it's like fully made in Canada. And specifically for outdoor saunas, it's got to last, and especially in Canada, it has 4 seasons. It's winter. It's you have that in northern states too, and it gets pretty harsh. So you got to have good quality wood, and we believe this is the best quality is red cedar. A lot of companies out there will just say like cedar or Canadian cedar. It's just like a marketing term. It's not actually it. They use like white cedar or not. But we went with red cedar, and red cedar is known to last at least 5 to 10 years longer than just your regular average white cedar or regular cedar. And the reason being is, and it also insulates very well, is because the wood itself is actually very dense. You can see it. We actually just shot it with David Moss. He's going to post it on his,
We saw I posted a video today in the HQ.
Yeah, he did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you posted one? I didn't even see. We did a whole like walkthrough between the cedars, and also like red won't discolor over time. And we did like powder coated metal roofing on the sides. And then we did like a composite on the front trim just to add that black aspect, but we didn't want it to be plastic. Like we didn't want it to be painted. So like the sauna is premium. And it's literally made in Canada by Canadians. So it's honestly a top-notch sauna, and it looks sexy too. Again, it's also a piece of furniture that you're gonna have in your backyard. So, and if someone's buying that like in the States, it's gonna last them a long time. Especially someone in Florida, it's probably last them their entire lifetime. So that was kind of our vision with creating outdoor saunas, making super high quality saunas that are going to last and that you're going to enjoy and you're going to love. And I wouldn't want a sauna any other than that.
What are some of the health benefits and mental benefits from getting into things like a cold plunge or a sauna?
So it's literally why I started the journey in the first place was, I'll speak in my own experience. For me, cold plunging was a way to literally have like an extended amount of presence and like inspiration to literally to go out and put myself out there in the world. So it literally like it took me out of these like limiting thoughts and took me out of my head and really put me right into the body. And cold water, freezing like pretty much like anywhere from like 59 degrees Fahrenheit to below will do that to you.
It's hard to think about anything else when you're in that.
I used to say like back then, I would say like try being depressed in freezing cold water. I bet you can't.
Yeah.
I put all my money on the world that you can't. And that's what it was for me. Like I personally was going through a hard time, and doing it consistently with cold water literally took me out of that state, and it literally helped me rewire my beliefs. It was literally that powerful. It shocks your nervous system that much. Um, and the consistency of being able to do something extremely hard every single day is powerful. It's powerful for your subconscious, powerful for just how you live your life every single day. Um, so mentally, for me, that was like the main benefits that it was like I was really getting from it. Physically, there's so much science out there around it,
Mhm.
like reducing inflammation and brown fat and blood markers. And that's all fun to get into, especially as an athlete. Obviously, there's new tests coming out saying that it's not good to do when you're doing hypertrophy. So when you're doing weight training, I personally I play hockey a lot, so I love getting into cold plunge before hockey. I like my difference between my legs versus when I cold plunge versus when I don't cold plunge. Like I'll get fatigued pretty much almost like after the first period. But if I cold plunge before, like I'm rocking and rolling, my legs are feeling fiery throughout the entire
That's
game.
really interesting. When I had Thomas Seeger on, he mentioned pre-cooling. Like he talks a lot about pre-cooling, like getting in before and then naturally allowing your body to warm up. And he talks about
Yes.
like the performance increases that people have been shown to have by getting in early and doing that pre-cooling effect. So that's cool. You brought that up.
Yeah. It's I first I would like do cold showers, and then once I started getting the cold plunges down, I would get like full body submerged. And that main effect of like when you get out of the cold plunge, I try and tell people, but it's obviously hard, and I also fall to it too. Is after a cold plunge, give yourself 5 to 10 minutes to actually let your body reheat using breath and using movement. Like that's probably the most impactful part of the entire cold plunge journey is the moment you get out. Like don't run to a hot shower. I know it's good to get right into the sauna, but like just wait like 5 to 10 minutes before you get into the sauna or before you get into the hot shower. Like literally allow yourself to reheat itself. You're also training your body that you can reheat itself from a place of fight or flight. So you're literally training your body to deal with the stress and through breath and through movement, which is most like reaffirming thing that you can tell your subconscious in your body.
Mhm. Yeah. I like what you were mentioning. It's hard to be, you can't be depressed when you're in a cold plunge. And I liken that to like mental toughness as well. It's like nobody got mental toughness by wishing for mental toughness. You get it by doing mentally hard things and proving to yourself that you're mentally tough. Whether or not you want to get into the physical benefits or not, like strictly the mental benefits of having that cold exposure, they're like, it's irrefutable. Like you can't not be a stronger person mentally if you're exposing yourself to cold water every single day.
And that's like I ask my customers all the time. Like I'm a huge believer. I love calling my customers. It's like if I'm ever feeling down or I'm feeling like fuck, it's not going the right way right now, I'll literally just call a customer and I'll just have a conversation with them for like 25, 30 minutes and just share with them what's going on with me and ask them like, hey, like why do you cold plunge? And I ask them all the time why they cold plunge. And the main reason why 90% of them cold plunge is literally just that feeling, just to get a feeling. It's just to feel again. Like so many of us literally have lived so much of our lives numb and not feeling. And the moment you feel, you actually start to become more connected. And when you feel more connected, you tend to have a sense of purpose. right? So, and then you maybe start to feel more connected to higher power or God or whatever you believe in out there. Um, but that feeling is essentially what majority of the people are going for. And then, of course, people are going at it from a physical standpoint. I would say that's the next
Mhm.
point. I've had so many customers with Lyme disease and like serious things that they're dealing with, and like some of the things that they're sharing with me, I'm just like, wow, like this is exactly why we're doing this. Um,
I I need to get one so I can do it a little bit more consistently, and I need to get it for my wife. So she has endometriosis, which cold exposure has been shown to help with that. It's like the inner uterine lining of the uterus isn't confined just to where it should be, so she can have like more severe cramps and things like that. And so by having that cold exposure, it'll reduce the inflammation in that area, and has been shown to help with that. So the only thing is I have to get my wife to get into the water every day.
you don't have one yet? What? You're
I know, I
interviewing?
know. I know. Well, I need to get one. I just got a sauna, and so I need to get. And it's coming. It's coming. Uh,
Let's go.
well, Michael, I always end the podcast with two questions. The first being, who do you think I should speak to next, and why? And then the second is, what's a book you'd most recommend?
Oh, it's a good questions. The book I would recommend, I'll give you the recommendation after. The book I would recommend, um, why is it blanking out of my head right now too? Uh, oh my God, blanked right out of my head. Uh, I read this book. My cousin gifted it to me when I started going on the journey as an entrepreneur.
Mm.
Not The Alchemist. There it is.
Oh, yeah, by I think I got it. I have it. I've read it. It's not on the shelf. It's in that other one. It's a great
You
book.
read?
Yeah,
Amazing book.
yeah,
Short, like easy read,
yeah.
super inspiring, and is very much a book that I think represents like an entrepreneurial journey, but also just anyone who's going on their own journey in their own way. So yeah, I would recommend that book. Who you should interview on the next podcast? I was gonna say my brother, but uh, he's a good guy to interview on the pod. He's doing like really good work with the club. He
Yeah, see,
he's doing like unreal. He's got great momentum there, and he's got a cool story. He sold his company and all that stuff. Yeah, I probably recommend him.
that'd be awesome to talk to him. I'll have to. If only I knew somebody who had a connection.
Literally,
No,
literally.
yeah, I'll hit him up. I definitely, and I founders. It's the founders club, right? That he. What are the parameters for getting invited or choosing to go? Do you need to be a founder?
Yeah, you do need to be a founder. That is one of his prerequisites. Um, and also like a founder of like a business doing a certain amount as well. But the mission statement behind it is awesome. And just a lot of founders in general feel very lonely in the process of building a company.
Mm-hmm.
Like as do I. I'm pretty lucky to have a business partner and share that with. But y- founders take on so much in terms of just building a business and holding so much responsibility. And there's not really too many people you can share that with because not too many people can really relate to it. So you create a space where people can come together and not feel so alone in it, and essentially just connect with like-minded individuals who are going through similar journeys in their life.
Mm,
So he's
that's
got,
awesome.
yeah, he's got great momentum. It's like a modern day YPO, likes to say. So,
Mm. Well,
um,
where can people follow you? Where can they find a quality cold plunge, and where can they get more content?
yeah, exactly. Go to culture.com, get a quality cold plunge. We also launch red light therapy, saunas, if you want all that good stuff, hit us up. You can also check out my personal Instagram page. It's mikey.spivak, or Culture Wellness if you want to get some more info on wellness, tech, equipment, whatnot, communities. So, yeah.
Awesome, man,
Thanks.
dude. Well, this was an absolute pleasure. It was fun getting to talk to you.
Yeah, likewise, man. Thank you for having me.